SIPU SA0328-01 recording length 06 minutes and 12 seconds. This recording was created using www.spokentext.net. What has the Communist Party USA accomplished? The Communist Party has been a consistent fighter for peace, jobs, racial and gender equality, justice, workers' rights, and socialism. We fight against racism, militarization, oppression and exploitation. The SIPU SA was founded in 1919, most of its membership originally coming from the left wing of the Socialist Party. Throughout our history, we have been involved in the struggles of our class and people for extending democracy, building unions, uniting against racism and chauvinism, and fighting for peace and justice. In the 20s, we fought against the Palmer raids, an early example of the anti-democratic nature of anti-communism, where the government arrested and deported many radicals and communists. Our party organized solidarity with the fledgling Soviet Union against the military intervention of the U.S. and other capitalist countries. We built strike solidarity in Gastonia, North Carolina, with mine workers in West Virginia, and began efforts to unionize basic industry through the TUL and TUIL, Trade Union Unity League and Trade Union Educational League. In the 30s, we organized the unemployed and employed to fight for unemployment insurance, a radical idea at the time. We agitated and organized for a national retirement program, which eventually became Social Security. We fought for freedom in the Scottsboro case, and for Angela Herndon and many others, imprisoned for fighting for relief from the effects of the Depression. We participated in and led many efforts to organize basic industry, in auto, steel, rubber, longshore, and many other industries. In California, party members initiated efforts to unionize Japanese and Filipino immigrant farm workers, which employers fought using the most vicious tactics and judicial repression. We organized support for the defense of the Spanish Republic, many members joining the Abraham Lincoln Brigade to fight the fascists in Spain. In the 40s, the party fought fascism, with about 15,000 members volunteering for the armed forces to serve during World War II. Following the war, we participated in the largest strike wave this country has seen, before or since. The capitalist countries, led by the U.S., were afraid of the rising wave of change that swept the world. They were afraid of the national liberation struggles, of colonies demanding freedom from the old colonial oppressors, and as a response the Cold War against socialism, progressive movements, and unions was started. This took the form of McCarthyism, loyalty oaths, expelling communists from unions, and congressional investigating committees that violated the rights of citizens to hold radical opinions and act on those opinions. The party fought back, supporting the Progressive Party in the 1948 elections. In the 50s, the party continued to engage in a legal and mass fight against repression. The fight for democracy was carried on primarily, sometimes exclusively by the party. When liberals abandoned the struggle to prove they were anti-soft on communism, we helped circulate the Stockholm Peace Appeal, which garnered the signatures of hundreds of thousands of Americans. We opposed the Korean War and we fought to maintain our organization in the face of FBI surveillance, congressional investigation, with many members losing jobs or careers, and fought against the deportation of radicals. We participated in the beginning of the civil rights movement. In the 60s, we helped begin a movement against the war in Vietnam, which we opposed from the very start. Members volunteered for Mississippi Summer, a project that brought Northern volunteers, mainly students, south to help with voter registration. We initiated or participated in many union rank-and-file committees and movements, working to democratize and radicalize unions and union members. In 1968, for the first time in several decades, we ran candidates for president and vice president. In the 70s, we led the movement to free Angela Davis, organized to fight the effects of double-digit inflation on workers and their families. We continued to fight against the Vietnam War, and supported welfare rights organizing and other efforts to broaden the base of progressive movements. We continued to run candidates for national and local offices, and fought to be a fully legal political party. In the 80s, We organized opposition to Reaganomics, to Reagan and Bush's right-wing military adventurism in Nicaragua, El Salvador, Panama, Grenada, Lebanon, and elsewhere. We ran candidates for office, and helped invigorate the fresh winds that began blowing in the labor movement. And we worked with the student and progressive movements against apartheid in South Africa. During this same period the Young Communist League, YCL, a broad-based Marxist-Leninist youth organization, was refounded. In the 90s, we joined many others in opposition to the Gulf War and NATO bombing in the former Yugoslavia. We continued to work with other progressives and center forces to accelerate positive changes in the labor movement in organizations such as Jobs with Justice, and organized support for public works jobs bills. In the present day, we oppose terrorism, military adventures and the right-wing agenda being pushed by Bush, which can only compound the tragedy of the recent terrorist destruction. This very quick brief review of our history summarizes some of our many accomplishments, and doesn't attempt to deal with the mistakes and difficulties of that history. There is now the beginnings of serious scholarship into our history, which can deal in more critical detail with the complexity, richness, and vibrancy with that history. This recording was created using Spoken Text, the free online text-to-speech converter. To learn more about Spoken Text, visit www.spokentext.net.